What's up, Cinephiles? DeadMedia here, and welcome back to Couch Kernels. Now, it's still Spoop Month here, so we still have Phil around. Hey Phil, how's it going?
Good, just listening to the music from my favorite artist.
Oh yeah? Who's that?
Bette Midler.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
Anyway, today's movie is I Am Not a Serial Killer. Now, this movie is based on a book by Dan Wells. It's the first book in a series of 6 novels about unlikely protagonist John Wayne Cleaver. Unfortunately though, this one being adapted independently for only €1.25 million and only grossing $21,000 worldwide.
That's all!
Means that any sequels will be unlikely, even if the critics liked it and audience didn't dislike it. Let's get down to today's criteria.
Get on with it!
Today we'll be looking at plot and writing, dialogue, acting, soundtrack, and effects. Starting with plot and writing. The story is about a 15-year-old kid with sociopathy who struggles in school, partly due to his teachers and principal being uncomfortable with the subject matter he covers in reports and such, usually serial killers, as well as the fact that he is being bullied. Not to make light of bullying in any form, but the bullying here is definitely movie bullying though. As someone who suffered bullies all through my school career, this bully is minor. He regularly insults John, but can only seemingly come up with freak. At one point he flicks mashed potatoes on John's face, but that's about the extent of it. So John lives in a small town in Clayton County, North Dakota. One of those sleepy towns where nothing happens, but shit is always going down in the movies? Yeah. Anyway, as you might expect from that description, shit happens. People start dying, violently. The killings are said to look like bizarre animal attacks. Is that attacks by a bizarre animal, or... Regardless, over a short time, the murders start piling up. Each of them looks similar too. Black goo found at each scene, and each body missing an organ. John starts to conduct his own investigation into matters, trying to figure out who the serial killer is, but his mom is getting increasingly concerned with his interest in the cases and bans him from helping out with the embalming in the family mortuary, which just gives him more free time to solve the case. The writing helps to keep you intrigued with this one, and I couldn't look away. Especially when it gets into the big twist later, but we won't talk too much about that one because that would be spoilers. Anyway, I enjoyed the premise, and with the writing helping to hold my attention, even when I know how it plays out, plot and writing deserve a kernel. On to the dialogue. There are a few memorable lines here, but as we decided in the previous video, we should have 4 lines for it to receive a kernel. The lines here range from a full monologue by John to the full quotation of William Blake poems by his neighbor. The monologue from John is towards his bully at a school party. The bully calls him a freak and John smiles. When asked why he's smiling, John says, "I've been clinically diagnosed with sociopathy, Rob. To me, you're an object. You know, you're a thing. You're about as important to me as a cardboard box. And the thing about cardboard boxes is that, you know, they're totally boring on the outside, right? But sometimes, if you cut them open, there'll be something interesting inside. You know, and so while you're saying all these boring things to me, I'm thinking about what it'd be like to cut you open. But I don't wanna. I don't want to be that person. And so I have a rule that anytime somebody says something to me where I think about, you know, cutting them, I just smile and I say something nice. So that's why I say to you, Rob Anders of 232 Carnation Street, you are a really great guy." Which obviously freaks the bully out of it. The William Blake poems quoted by his neighbor are The Tiger, and The Lamb. These are lengthy and significant lines, especially the works by Blake, but there are still only 3 of them, so unfortunately we cannot award a kernel for the dialogue. Now the acting. Everyone gives good performances here. Max Records, who plays John Wayne Cleaver, plays well as someone with strong, often singular focus who has a tough time socializing normally with people. Laura Fraser also does well as John's mother, just trying to hold things together while being entirely unsure how to deal with her son and his unusual behaviors. In this one, we also have the always wonderful Christopher Lloyd as John's neighbor, Mr. Crowley, an unassuming, ailing older gentleman still madly in love with his wife. Along with any of the supporting cast putting in excellent performances all around, this leads to a cast where none of the actors distract from the film. For the capable performances of the whole cast, we will award a Kernel for the acting. The soundtrack consists of a lot of indie rock, as that seems to be what John listens to when he listens to music. There are also appropriate instrumental stings dotted throughout, and prolonged moments of uncomfortable silence.
The suspense is terrible. I hope it'll last.
There are two well-known songs in the movie as well, with the song Toyland playing late in the movie when a sad John goes for a walk after a disappointed Christmas gift from his absent father. I swear I'm not doing this Christmas stuff on purpose, guys. Also, is it just me or is Toyland like the bleakest song ever? Seriously. Editor man, lyrics on screen please. Anyway, the other well-known song is Norman Greenbaum's Spirit in the Sky, which plays as we fade to the end credits in perfect time with the pulsing of the embalming pump. I would hate to imagine how tough it was to sync that up. The soundtrack did well with this one, so we will award a Kernel here for it. Finally, let's talk about the effects.
The effect? I'll tell you what the effect is! It's pissing me off!
Obviously, this one involving several murders and a family owning a mortuary, this one involves gore. Now, how they managed to make the gore look better here than they did in the last movie, which had a higher budget, is confusing, but impressive. It's not the goriest movie, but it doesn't have to be. Not everyone needs to go full Tarantino with gratuitous gore. There are also effects here which are honestly going to be a bit tough to talk about it, but damn it, I'm going to try. There are a series of effects tied directly to the killer that could look incredibly bad, but actually look completely natural in the scene. They don't stand out or look janky. These effects include both practical and CGI, but nothing about them looks completely off. Granted, many of the shots that include them are distant or poorly lit shots, but that really doesn't always save bad effects. Remember the dogfight scene in Hulk? See my point? And so, for a plausible, decent-looking effects work, especially on a small budget, we'll give them a Kernel here. Okay, now it's time to tip out our bucket and see what we have. We have 4 Kernels this time. This one is one that likely flew under a lot of people's radar, and I feel like that may be why it doesn't get talked about more. I really enjoy it. It holds my attention and has a twist you probably wouldn't expect from a movie of this style. I would recommend that if you have even the remotest interest in seeing this one, you give it a shot. Now let's play... No. Name that frame. This is a continuation of the round we started in my video on The Traveler, so if you haven't watched that one yet and want to see another still, go look there. Our request has been made to start including hints in the video where I show my second still each time, and if that encourages you guys to participate, I'm more than happy to oblige. That said, I want to be careful about what kinds of hints I give since I don't want to take the game from challenging to stupidly simple. And in some cases the wrong hint could do just that in only 2 words. So for this round, I will give the release decade and the genre. This round, it is a horror movie released in the 90s. Now Phil, I'm gonna set you on my head this time since you were in the way of the screen last time.
He stole my bagel! And now I sit on his head as punishment.
So if you look at my screen, we have our next still. Know what it is? Comment below. And if you have suggestions for me to watch, or any other comments, feel free to put them below. I try to answer every comment. Bye now! Ah, hell.